Alright, so we're going to get into some hatching. And what is hatching? So basically hatching is a way to shade without having to colour in or shade using directional lines. So if I start these lines really tight right here, and as I go along I'm slowly moving my hand and wrist away, making a bigger and bigger and bigger gap. Now it feels like I'm doing this really fast, but I've been doing this for many years, and you can see that it works along. You might have to go a little bit slower and just do that, but it's also really good practice. Get your hands to be able to do straight lines, short lines, curve them a little bit, find out how your wrist works. But right now you're just like, oh, that looks like a whole bunch of lines, but what it actually is a grayscale gradient. And sorry, I'm holding my breath. Messages from family. You see the grayscale gradient as it goes along. Now these can be a bit longer and further in here, but that's all good. We're just making fun. You're like, what can I use this hatching for? Well, I've used it a little bit in other previous tutorials on this, but let's create our box. Now this is just a rough box. I'm not trying to save the world with this box, just trying to make a box. So we want to do vertical lines that go along on this side. We want the direction of the light coming down from here. I should have said that part first, but then we're going to do the same directional lines here. And then we're going to do softer ones, but you don't have to press hard, we just want them soft. So now that looks all, oh dang, we've done all the same things. What we're going to do here is we're going to do this horizontal or parallel matching these lines. Now that seems darker than this one. So then we're going to go parallel lines. We're going to do the same. We're going to go across. And then we're going to go diagonal. So this, what it is basically filling up all the little white spots we can to start making it darker and darker and darker. So, and I'll fill in the lines a little bit. I love drawing with lines. I think there's something really magical about it, that you can just bring something to life with just a line, but that's a whole nother conversation. So you see, now we have 3 different shades. Feels like a box, but it feels like a box that's got nothing going on. Let's add a little bit of weight down the bottom. And so right now I'm coloring in, but you see I'm not doing a hard color in, like I'm not trying to do that. Like with this one I'm just trying to be rough and just go 1 1 1 1 1. Oh, get a straggler, come over this way a little bit, and then I've got a weighted box. And you can even go this way if you're like, oh, that's a little bit. Now we've got a weighted box. So you're like, whoa, what about a circle? Well, let's have a crack at a circle. Or a sphere we'll turn it into. So as you can tell, my circle's not perfect. I don't care, it's just a quick sketch drawing. We're just having fun and figuring out what we can do. So let's add ourselves a little guideline, and we want this to curl around like a little bit of a half moon on this. And what we're going to try and do is just hatch this way. We're just hatching lightly because we want to sort of layer this on. And then we are going to, if I can get my hand in here. So even sometimes my brain's trying to figure it out. I'm going to hatch against the grain, but I'm also not going super hard in the paint on it. I'm just going to hatch. And then I'm like, okay, that's starting to look alright. So we'll then go a little bit harder. I think we might need to go a bit harder here. So we're going to go a bit harder here. And so we'll just go across. So, and you can go past the guideline. It's kind of nice if you do, because it doesn't mean it has to be a hard line. So I'm just going to get this weighted down here a little bit. So now I'm going to go across the hatch guideline and go along, but as you see I'm sort of curling my page as I do it, so all the lines aren't going in the same direction, they're sort of just curling around. And if I was really focusing on it, I might actually even do curls when I'm hatching. but I'm just trying to, once again, time is done, but we're having fun, so let's get it done. So then we're going to do just a super light one across. Then I'm not going to do it all the way around. I just want it down for the main bottom part, and then I'm going to add here, and this is where I'll add that sort of curl, but I'm not going to do a ton of them. I'm just going to go and give a little bit of an arc to it, and I might just add that. So it looks more like a rock, but we're going to go a bit harder just down here. Okay, and I'm going sort of a diagonal, but when I'm down here, you might not be able to see it, but I'm not doing like a straight, I'm sort of doing a curl. So it goes like that, and then I'm going against that curl as well. So I'm not trying to go too hard, because I want it to keep sort of shading, and then I'll do a little bit more. So, and I might just go a little bit over here. Now let's make this feel like it's a little bit on the ground. Now there's more stuff you can sort of add, so I'm going to do just like as if it's colouring in right here, but this will help give it the shape a bit more. See, it feels a bit more circular. Now, before with the triangles, we built some trees. Let's see what we can do with a tree. We have a tree here, giving a little curl at the end. So if I was drawing this normally, I'd turn my page, give myself a little curl, give myself a little tree stump. I would hatch in here, but I'd be really close and tight in there. And then we're just going to curl the bottom here. We're not going to worry about it being on grass or anything like that. We can do details like that later in other episodes. So what I'm doing here is I'm just giving myself a little guideline, but this one I'm making a little shaky because it's a tree. Unless I was doing a really geometric piece, which I don't know if I would hatch doing that, but I want to have this to have a little bit of life. But one thing I am going to do before I even get going, I'm going to set the direction of the shadow that's coming off this. So I might go like this and then curl these in. So I'm not drawing this all the way out because I don't want to go that far out. Now I'm going to do my hatch, but I'm doing it on an angle as if it's going in the direction the light is. The light's almost pushing the shadow back. So here it might be closer to the tree, but then have a little bit of light down here, as if this part here is causing the shadow. Now, this is all fine and dandy, like we don't have to get into too much hatching here, because I really wanted to show this part. So we're going to use this same technique that is up here for along here. So we're going to start up really tight, and still really tight here, and then go further away. But one of the things I would do here, if I was really focusing, I would make sure that I'm getting this feeling like it's coming right off the tree, not like sort of leaving a gap here, so that way it doesn't feel like it's sort of floating, or the shadow's floating or whatever. And so I might go like that. And there's our tree. Now it feels like it's standing somewhere. It feels like the light's coming in this way. So that's it for hatching right now. It takes a little bit of time. You can practice just by I still practice. I just enjoy doing this and just hatching like this, and try out different hatching techniques. So curve them and then see what it's like, what it looks like. Because sometimes you might have a shirt and you might be like, oh, that's a cool shirt. I'm just sketching, but I need to know that this is the underneath part. You might curl it here and then go horizontal here. Then you might be like, oh dang, I need this part here. We're gonna curl, 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 curl. And then instead of going horizontal, we're gonna curl it back this way. That might be for piping, it might be for, oh man, it's a long one. Might be for piping or anything like that. So, I guess that's it for now. Maybe we'll have to do another hatching one. But we're going to use this technique in further drawings.